This is the Dos a Cero podcast.
Both in the U.S. and beyond.
And
Rolling.
background, in the background, that's John. John, our typical host. Hosting tonight is Daniel Preciado. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little rusty, and we're winging it because John is supposed to be here. So hopefully he will join later. And but starting off, I'd like to introduce everybody. We have Joel. Out in LA. How's it going?
Hello, hey, what's up? What's up, Dan? Enjoying my week so far.
Excellent. Did you watch any of the any Champions League? Did you put on
No,
your
I didn't.
you put on
No,
your
I
Real
missed,
Madrid jersey on?
I missed pretty much every game available this weekend.
I had my Barcelona stockings on at work. I'm kidding. No. Moving along. Also joining us today, we have Beto. Good evening. How's it going, dude?
Hey, everybody. Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. And last and least. No, I'm kidding. Ronnie De Luna. How's it going, dude?
That's cold, Dan. That's really cold.
I gotta take my shots I gotta take my shots when I get a chance. One of the rare moments I get to host. So get my digs in when I can.
No, you got to. I understand. Opportunity presented itself, and you took it. I'm proud of you, Dan.
No, but I'm not exactly surprised, but I'm glad you're here with us today. Obviously, just to get the show started, our first topic is the Clásico Joven, where it was just one of those games you hope you didn't turn the game off if you were an America fan, and you if you walked away at halftime thinking you won, if you're a Cruz Azul fan, then you probably came back to a rude awakening. But what were your thoughts on the game, Ronnie? Did you manage?
My thoughts on, look, I'm happy about the win, obviously. And obviously, the fact that you beat Cruz Azul and you control after the game. But like my real thoughts deep down, I think I checked the standings. America's got like 16 goals scored, and they got 15. They've received 15. And like when they were losing 3-0, I was tweeting about their defense, because their defense, I'm just still not convinced, man. Goltz and these guys, man, they're just shaky. And I mean, that's still a concern. If I'm being honest, that's a concern. I'm glad that they won, and obviously that's awesome. And the way they won. What's that?
Was his job on the line?
Who, Nacho?
Yeah.
I think so. I think it is. I think that when the press starts to bring it up time and time, I think knowing Mexican executives work and function, I wouldn't be surprised that, they're already calling other people, or they already have maybe another coach lined up.
You are still on board, right? Or are you not?
No, I let him finish. And here's the thing. And one of the tweets that I had was that, Piojo, I mean, Ambriz has a better record than both Piojo and Turco so far. Piojo and Turco, they were able to bring at least people, of their liking. Ambriz and Matosas really were not given that opportunity. I think that plays a huge factor. I mean, because honestly, when you had Piojo, just about the entire team was almost Mexican, and players that had played under him, whether it's Atlante, Monterrey, Puebla, wherever. And Ambriz, think that Peláez, I think although he's done a great job, I really do think that he has, and maybe Ambriz is calling these players, but I really don't think.
Because
I don't really think. I don't
I,
think it's his team. I really don't.
I was thinking that this may have been like a somewhat of a like the opposite of a blessing in disguise, like a curse in disguise. Where had he lost, maybe they would have. Because I know there's some people that are really never were in favor of him. Had they lost the 3-0, that would have been enough, probably. Especially considering that probably would have put him either. I probably would have put him out of the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
Out of but
Well, I mean, obviously, every time America gets a coach, they want somebody that has a proven track record. Piojo, although he never won anything, and it's safe to say
Piojo had a track
still.
Teams. And
What's that?
I think Piojo had, at least in my interpretation, my view of him before joining America was he was able to work with garbage and make him work and get the most out of him. Like he seemed like he was always, yeah. So I mean,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I mean, when he brought in players like Aguilar and brought in players like like you and stuff like that, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. But and Molina, who's I think he's playing in your team right now, right? Santos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought he did the best he could do with what he had, and he had the team working.
So what are you now, though, as far as like now that they got that win, do you think they could turn the season around and get some momentum going? Because it was even though it was against 10, it's still scoring 4. It's pretty awesome. Do you think this might turn the season around?
You know what? When I said that the game with Chivas, in the grand scheme of things, was just another game, I still say the same thing. It's just another game. They have to close. They really have to work on the damn.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess like I think this is where you want to start starting to hit form.
Yeah.
Because you're halfway through the season. The Liga is gonna start, and that's when you really want to go in hot. So I think this is a time where you really want to start sorting out your team and how they need to be playing. So I don't know. It's interesting because what would have happened had that guy got himself sent off? How that game would have.
Well, it's funny you say that, Dan, because when that happened, reaction was because I thought that boy would have been smart enough to bunker, and that would have played into Cruz Azul's hands, but they didn't. So then when what's his name? When I hate to say this, it's not like I say this in retrospect. I said it when they scored. When Oribe, when he scored the first goal, and I kind of knew that I had a feeling that they were going to tie it. I didn't think that they were going to win, but I had a feeling that they were going to tie it.
I had the fortune of the rare fortune of watching the second half with my dad. He was just got to my house to watch our kids, and it was he tends to be pretty negative, very half empty kind of guy. So when he got there, we had just turned the TV on, and I left it on because I kind of wanted to troll him. I was talking descremada, to him as the half was about to start. But seeing the comeback, once the guy got sent off, I told him, like, this is a chance, man. You never know. And he was still pretty negative, but seeing his reaction and watching him celebrate was pretty cool.
Another thought that came through my mind watching that game. Back when Leo Benaker when he coached America for the second time, was coaching Pumas. They played this game. I think this was maybe in 03 or maybe early 04, where Pumas was winning 3-0, and America came back to tie it, but then like in the last 9 minutes of the game, came back and scored the winner, which ended 4-3. And I was like thinking about that game because I'm thinking, crap. I was also thinking about that, thinking that America knowing what they're going through this season, with that shaky defense, that they would equalize and then somehow lose it, like a Cruz Azuleando of sorts,
Now, Beto, what
Yeah.
were your thoughts on the game? Do you think Tomas Boy should have been fired? And was this just a lack of options available that wanted to take the team, or is just a boneheaded move, or is this the smart thing to do? What do you think?
I think that they just gassed, but Tony brings up a good reason. That I mean, I didn't think they bunkered like he was saying, but if they would have, Benitez and Jimenez might have saved some energy because at the end of the game they just disappeared, and it was surprising too because at the beginning they were dominating America. The defense looked very weak. Benitez for the second goal. Just like weaved through 4 America players in the defense, and it deflected off him, and then the guy scored, but or Catalina scored, I believe. But they were just dominating, and then all of a sudden they're gone. So I mean, I don't know if it's fully Boy's fault. I would say it's not really. I think it's the players' fault mostly.
Did they score before they down?
No, they scored all 3 goals, and in the second, I think it was in the second half, they lost the player. But I will say one thing though, Osmar Mares, he went in and straight up pulled up an elbow on this one dude where I think he got a yellow. I thought he should have been sent off. So I was just like when they scored 3 goals, I was waiting for a ref to help America. I was waiting for it to happen, and it didn't really. I mean, it sort of happened where they let Osmar Mares off. And then of course, I do agree with the red card that they gave on that Cruz Azul dude. So it looked like it was an okay reffing decision all around, but I'm suspect on that Osmar Mares call. I think they forgave him, but
I think I agree with you, and I think the momentum of the moment was you didn't want to kind of like take the wind out of the sails, so to speak, where I could almost sense that the ref was like, no, man, I kind of want to see what happens.
yeah, because I was waiting for something to happen, and it sort of did.
I mean, favoritism, but I think maybe he just got caught up in the moment of what was going on. Is like, better to leave it as it is. But I don't know. It was I did think it was red worthy. It was a little suspect, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I was shocked because I figured you do the job of getting up 3-0 and then to come back and lose, which up to this point you got the most expensive team. He's been there for a good bit now, right? This is his second season. This current season isn't going well. I was truly shocked.
Hey, I was hearing that it was his halftime speech that ruined the team. That he told his players to play like it's a final, and that was the rumors. I don't know.
Yeah, like what is it? I mean, this is not like some like initially you would think it's a curse or something. This is some psychological bad mojo going on with this team.
I heard I missed the game, but some people were saying there was 2 penalties that should have been called.
Well, well, America should have also been handed or should have been awarded a penalty for in the beginning of the game, the transmission. What do you call it? I think it was Bam Bam Zamorano and I forget the other guy. They were talking about how the referee was very inexperienced. Like he was like 32 years old, hadn't really ref too many games, in the top flight. And I think it showed because, I do think that the officiating perhaps could have, was it was equally to.
Well, somehow I'm not surprised that you're not totally upset with the refereeing.
No, I think, but I think when I think like Chicky says, it's mental.
Well, look, I don't remember the names. I don't remember the name of the player right now. I don't remember off the top of my head. But when he was handing out a yellow card, the guy was basically the way he was reacting in his body language, like almost like making a fist and like punching the air and stuff like that to towards the ref, towards the official. I'm thinking, dude, if you had Chiqui Dracula or you had Benito Archundia or stuff like that, that's not only a card, but that's another card and a yellow and a red. One for the infraction, and then the other one just for unsportsmanlike. And I think both in this particular, I do think that America could have had a couple more cards, but at the end of the game here, or at the end of the day, the official was very inexperienced, and he shouldn't have been he shouldn't have been calling up that officiating that game. To be honest,
I think the refereeing was decent enough. I don't think I don't think anything was egregious. I think the red card that was handed was extremely valid. So I don't think anybody can deny that. So,
but
Joel, you were gonna make
yeah, I think it's like I do think there's a mental aspect to it. So when you have like what you believe to be a penalty kick or a call didn't go your way, I think that they let it get to their head and they'll lose concentration or focus, even confidence. And I think that's been part of it where now you're seeing these outside forces affecting you. Even if it shouldn't have affected as much. I remember seeing. I don't know if you guys remember at the World Cup in the game against Cameroon, and Gio had two clean goals called anulados, and I remember worrying because the team during the Hex, their confidence would they would drop and the team would end up playing poorly. But I mean, it didn't get to them. I guess Piojo, good motivator. So they ended up, they continued playing well and won the match.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, Joel, because that's and not just Mexico, but this tends to happen a lot in Mexico because of the way just the officiating. They're celebrities in Mexico. The officiating, and but when you bring up the players about Gio and you were getting worried, if they were ever going to respond back because they think that they're being cheated, or they're not, or they're. Do you remember in the 2010 World Cup, when I kind of, and I believe this, if FIFA weren't, when FIFA replayed the offside goal from Tevez, granted they shouldn't have done that at the stadium because right then and there, the fans and the players knew that they got screwed over, on Mexico's side, and that messed up with Mexico's psyche,
Yes.
I think Mexico and the Mexican League in general. I think the teams have to be better prepared in being able to handle crappy officials or officials that are think that they're hot shit. because ultimately, you do have 90 minutes to right every wrong, And I've always said this, that the great teams, the dynasties, they're able to beat, bad officiating as well.
Yeah, the Pachuca coach said something along those lines like a few weeks back. He said if you play your game, you'll beat bad officiating.
Well, it's funny because as of yesterday, I haven't checked Cruz Azul's main Twitter page, their official Twitter page, but their last tweet was the footage of the key play of the game, and it was of the red card, And to me, that's indicative of what's going on right now with Cruz Azul because, yes, you got a red card, but you were winning 3-0. You could have they could have bunkered. They could have done a lot of things, to hold, a 3-0 lead. I think with Cruz Azul, man, I think this has to, this pressure of just, collapsing. I think this ends and starts with Billy Alvarez, the president and the co-op in Cruz Azul, because what's up?
Oh, Cruz Azul, man.
Yeah, Cruz Azul.
They need to do an overhaul. They need to change their uniforms and name.
To red. They need
red?
Cruz Roja, dude. They're
Miguel Sabah a couple years ago. We're talking about 10 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, something like that.
Tengo miedo.
He said that America causes fear in Cruz Azul. And I'm sorry, but who instills that fear? Someone has to instill that fear. And it's not the coaches because they've had 19 of them. The only thing, and they've changed players, rosters, plenty of times now.
Well, and Hermosillo just spoke out against that. He pretty much won the last championship for them in '97, and he was saying that Billy needed to step off, and that just by doing that he would change the face of the institution. So yeah, they're saying like they're saying the whole Alvarez thing, that his relation with the promoter, and they just bring, they don't really bring the players the coaches want a lot of times.
Alvarez in a whim will kick every player off the team. Remember when they did that in '03? When Loco Abreu and all those guys were on the team, and he basically got rid of all the foreigners just like that. And all the players.
I do.
On a whim.
Yeah, weren't they trying to form like they were trying to do some protest?
They were. In fact, I remember that the only, Loco Abreu spoke very highly of Sergio Almaguer because when the club was basically going after the foreign players, who at the time Conejo was, obviously a captain, one of the vice captains. He kind of felt betrayed by Piojo, by Conejo, and saying that really the only guy that was stepping up, for the foreigners was Sergio Almaguer, saying, hey, bullshit, this is a team, but I kind of, I want to look at it also from Alvarez's, point of view, because back then and even now, on paper, they've had great teams, but they just have a thing of, they just have a way of collapsing towards the end.
Y la Cruz Azul.
And I said it before, and I've mentioned, and I've mentioned like the Buffalo Bills, where you have to get to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. Great team, that's a dynasty. Unfortunately, you didn't win, and Cruz Azul, they've crapped out, but it's because they crap out in games where, like, in semifinals and finals. So, they're a great team, but
¿Y
I
la
don't
Cruz
know.
Azuleó?
They're just. I think they've changed players, they've changed managers. I think the only thing that needs to change now is just the like Hermosillo said, perhaps the head has to go now.
Yeah, with managers, I also feel they haven't brought the best managers for that club for what they need. I don't think Boy was the guy to bring in.
Who televises Cruz Azul games? Is it Azteca or Televisa?
Well, it was Azteca. I don't know about now. I mean, if we're seeing the fact that what, Univision actually has been showing them in the U.S. And normally it used to be that Univision would show Televisa's feed. But I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but they've been
Carlos
showing
went
the
to,
Azteca feeds too. It's based on a team by team basis. Who they make
So
their deals
I
with.
don't know who. Yeah, I don't know.
The
who
only reason
they
I'm
get from
asking
Mexico.
is that Tomas Boy seems to be the coach that all he does is bounce around TV Azteca teams.
Uh-huh.
Crazy coincidence, I know.
That's true.
but and then remember he was the one that TV Azteca had given the lasso to when they were trying to get rid of Chepo.
That's true.
So
They
he's
were
been their
trying to put
guy
him
for a
in.
long time. Yeah. For whatever
Yeah, I
reason,
know.
I'm not sure why. And and it's heartbreaking because I mean, as good a player as he was, he's nowhere near that as a coach, which is really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I don't think I can recall him winning anything.
Oh, he won. He won 2 titles when he was a player.
No, as a
Yeah.
coach, I mean.
No, it's coach.
He hasn't won anything.
No, yeah, as a
It's very
coach,
unfortunate.
I think if you're Cruz Azul, you need a coach where that's won before, who has that mentality and could help.
I'm so proud of Cruz Azul. I'm so proud of them now. For them to take it to another level. I mean, it couldn't happen against any other team. I mean, it was just at home. It was too perfect. It was like a perfect storm.
Chinguen a su puta madre directiva, chinga a su puta madre Cruz Azul, se les acabó el pendejo. ¿Qué no les duele, hijos de su puta madre? Ustedes pierden dinero, nosotros perdemos ilusiones, chinga.
Oh man.
Was that the video where at the end somebody yelled like "Viva las Chivas"?
We have that recording. I don't know why Chiquis cut it off.
Hold on, let me.
And I know I tweeted this.
¡Viva las Chivas, puto!
And I was speaking with Joel about this, and the guys before. But I really, really think that Cruz Azul needs to own Cruz Azulear. They need to own it. They need to own it. Just like Layun owns, todos grupo de Layun, just like Chivas owns Chivas. Because back then, I mean, they were given that nickname as an insult because the players looked like they were just out on the pastures grazing like and it was an insult. And I just think they have to own it.
So when and if they do win a championship, and of course that's a big if at this point, I would assume that they would probably do something with that. But you're right, though. I mean, it's just there's self-defamation goes a long way.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to watch the game. We were getting ready to broadcast the Longhorns, and I kept it up, and I have 2. Well, I'll just call them cremas on our broadcast team, and so I was giving them all sorts of holy hell when it was 3-0. But then when I saw it, the amounts increment, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I'm not sure how any Cruz Azul fan could survive that.
One thing on the game though, at the end, or actually on medio tiempo, the refereeing commission actually came out and said that the referee made a mistake in the 77th on a penalty that should have been called for Cruz Azul. So even the penalty mistakes or the referee mistakes go in favor or go against Cruz Azul, and ends up hitting them psychologically again. I think it's just mental midgetry, man.
I mean, it's like watching a work of art, like happen before your eyes. It's like, when something craters, it usually leaves, some jagged, irregular shape. When Cruz Azul does it, it's beautiful. It's like a perfect circle that just like drops into the center of the earth. Just leaves a perfectly symmetrical crater. It really is. It's
a couple of listeners on
sublime. Yes.
Bill and Christian, they're talking about is Cruz Azul the Chicago Cubs, and then Christian gives the Buffalo Bills as an example. I remember the Bills specifically. They must have lost like 2 in a row, and then the third one.
They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah, it's like all under Jim Kelly too.
You know how they make those. I'm sorry to interrupt, but just got this thought right now. You know how they make the T-shirts ahead of time, so they'll make like the championship shirts.
Yeah.
They'll print them out, and then if they lose, they'll print them out of both teams.
Right, and then they ship them off to Uganda,
like Africa or somewhere. Yeah, so there's probably a bunch of Africans thinking that the Bills were like a dynasty team,
or Cruz Azul for that matter. Cruz Azul, like the greatest team in history.
Every year they got a Buffalo Bill championship.
To them, Cruz Azuleada is like a sublime badge of honor. It's Cruz Azuleada is the greatest thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, I do wonder.
We hear about all these Cruz Azuleadas. Oh, just incredible.
I would say that the Cubs, that would be Atlas, because I mean I think they have the longest right now in the well, they do, yeah, they have the longest in the league. Like 50,
they both have the biggest, the longest droughts, both of them in their respective leagues.
Yeah, Atlas and I mean, they are. They have
it's just Cruz Azul has been. They're just snake bit. I mean, I really can't think of any team in any other league where where this is. I mean, just the Bills did that. Yeah, they did it, but it was like for 4 years. This has been going on for Cruz Azul for 15, 20 years now. I mean, that is a serious streak. I would actually, if there was a team you could relate it to, I would say it would be the Red Sox. Just because whenever they would make it, and they made it to their final rounds, like the World Series or whatever it was, many, many times, and would just, just go down in like just a spectacular car crash of dramatic events, whether for, or against. So, as far as the high drama of a late game collapse, I would probably liken them more to the Red Sox, or even lately I would say the Cowboys, but that's it. We won't get into that.
I actually watched the Cowboys game, or I watched the last quarter of it. Jesus.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
It's like, dude, why the hell didn't he run out of bounds, man?
Did you enjoy it, honestly? Or are you a Cowboy fan? I forget.
I'm still riding high from the America game, so it's not like I really care.
Hey, but
Ronnie, did you punch the wall in the hole for Cruz Azul solidarity?
No, I mean I was in studio. I was watching the game. Obviously I was pissed.
Yeah, at halftime, did you stab something?
What's up?
At halftime, did you stab something?
No, I didn't. No, and I got a lot of knives too. A lot of utility knives.
Did you kill a man? Did you kill a man at halftime? No.
No. I have a lot of utility knives in studio.
Were you
but,
triggered?
no, I was screaming though, man. I was screaming, dude, when like yelling the goals, and like a couple of people were like, "What the hell is going on?"
Well, I apologize for jumping in late into the show. It's
no, it's good
I wish I would have been able to get here earlier.
All good.
I'm assuming you guys have been talking about Cruz Azul. I'm just taking a wild stab.
Yeah, that's the first topic.
Pobrecito. It's like, is there any other topic? Pobrecito. I mean, seriously, it's just, how could you, man, that is a rough team to root for, man. Lady Machina must have slit her wrists, poor thing.
It's funny you say that. Or just about everybody that I know that used to root for Cruz Azul, it's like
Are either missing or dead.
it's like they're not even fans anymore, it seems.
But hey, guys, as bad as Cruz Azul is, it could be worse. You could be an Atlas fan. Yeah,
exactly.
No one talks about Atlas, but they're worse off.
Yeah, but Atlas has just been terrible consistently, so you know what to expect from them. I mean, Cruz Azul, I don't know what it's like for you, but to me, when I was a kid, like first getting into the sport, I mean, they were the team. They were the cream of the cream. I mean, it didn't get any better, and they were consistently good, and have been for 34. I mean, very few teams have been as solid as they have been for as long as they have.
Well, they did win what? They won a CONCACAF Champions, and I think they won a Copa MX.
Well, they won a Copa. No, they won a CONCACAF Champions. Oh, they did win one, yeah, because they went to the whatchamadoodle and played Real Madrid, the Club World Cup. You're right.
Hey, remind me again, Lady Azul.
Lady Machina.
Lady Machina. When did she? After what game?
It was after I think it was in the Liguilla where they just like folded like a cheap suit. They didn't do anything.
It was they didn't get to the Liguilla. Who did they play?
Oh, they didn't qualify.
They lost to America. What the? 3-4. Did they lose to America 3-4?
Just now. That happened on Saturday.
Well, I was reading the Lady Cemento.
Porque les falta actitud, les falta partirse la madre.
Poor thing. You know what's sad, Joel, about Cruz Azul fans is that they don't get cheery songs to lift them up.
Tienes el alma di Pavrishana, hueles a limpia rosa temprana.
That would help. That would definitely help.
It would absolutely help. I gotta wonder if if we're gonna continue on going down this path, or do y'all want to move on? I mean, I kind of hopped in late, so.
I think we've.
Pobrecitos.
I think we beat.
Pobrecitos.
Beating up the Cementeros enough.
All right, one last.
¿Y la Cruz Azuleó?
And we'll move on. The other thing that I thought was interesting is that Giovanni had another really good game, like a really good game, and now they're starting to make noise. So what finally expired? That they're going to be willing to take notice, because I'm tell you, they don't have Mexico doesn't have the luxury.
Yeah,
he's also partnering up with Lando.
That's right.
That's pretty exciting for some.
Well, you live in the greater Los Angeles area, both you and Joel. How do people feel about him? They're like outside of the Pocho world.
I live in Cholos country.
Do you think he'll make Klinsman's job a little harder?
Who's that, Landon or Gio?
No, I think he's going to compliment him.
Gio's been complimenting Landon, and I see a lot of hate towards him. But I think the main thing, like John just said, is Mexico's in need, so they're gonna have to squash whatever beef. And basically, I think Decio came out and just said it. He said, "Oh, now," and talked about it. He said, "Now Gio wants to come. Well, that's good because we need people that come." Sort of implying that before he didn't.
That is such BS. I'm sorry, but I have to. Don't mean to interrupt, but that is such BS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like before he's implying that before he didn't want to come, he didn't have the desire. Like maybe Gio said, "Oh, I want a foot massage before I go to," or like something that they just said.
But do you honestly believe, Albert? Do you honestly believe that Gio ever even once uttered those? Oh, I have to have special conditions when I come.
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly,
I don't think he did. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to make. They're trying to make it out that he did just to play, and all of a sudden change their mind and say, okay, now he does want to come because before he didn't. And they probably made some excuse like, oh, Gio requested some special thing, and now we're going to say, no, we're not going to do that. And we're going to say he didn't want to come or he denied the call-up, which is bull. So. Yeah, they're looking for an excuse to bring him back on because they need him.
Well, yeah, it's
He's done about as much as he can.
Here we go, Galaxy. Here we go. This is awesome. This is awesome.
I even saw a tweet about it.
That's great.
Oh.
And everyone's praising Gio for his work with the Galaxy and stuff, but he still left Europe. He still didn't do what he wanted.
Who cares?
Yeah, but
who cares?
For playing in the MLS, he's doing what he needs to, in my opinion,
Yeah,
to get a call.
When you guys become Euro snobs? That's what I want to know.
No, I'm saying yes, he's doing great, and yes, we need to praise him. Yes, we need him on the team. But to say we're living in his world or he's like dominating the whole world, he's not. He's an MLS.
Oh, I don't think no one is.
Who's saying he's dominating?
I haven't heard that. Yeah, I haven't heard that.
There's a tweet I retweeted today.
Are you trying to put words in our mouth, Albert?
I'm putting words in.
He's pulling a Ronnie.
But who tweeted it, Chiquis? Just because it got tweeted, it could have been Lady Machina tweeting it.
It was a lady from ESPN FC. It was someone from ESPN.
But that's you know.
What's her face? But they're
spazzy.
They're more, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of times we have this notion that if you're in Europe, that you're just going to be a better player, and that's not always the case. We've seen a lot of. I was seeing the study, and it's the average time a lot of Mexicans spend in Europe is 2 years.
You know what's amazing about? Go ahead, Joel, I'll let you finish.
I was going to say
I will buttress your argument here in a second. So go ahead.
They don't exactly return better players just because they spent 2 years over there. You know, they don't. If there's truth to what you go to Europe and that makes you a better player. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not automatic. And to me, if you're a good player, you're going to be good regardless where you're at.
No,
when did Giovanni turn professional? Was he 16?
Yeah.
So he's been a professional for 10 years, right?
Maybe even 12.
Okay, he's been a professional for a while. So in his mind, you're a professional for 10 years. I mean, I think at that point, whether he has, exemplified some form of prowess on the field, I believe if you're a professional for 10 years, you've earned the right to decide, where and when you want to continue your career. Would you all agree or disagree?
I agree.
I think if he played 1 year, he still has that right.
Yeah. So the whole thing about Giovanni, and then this is what always cracks me up about, and we've talked about this many, many times on this show, and in our wonderful column, that the gentleman's agreement that Joel and I write, which Joel, you need to publish because I think we got plenty there.
Oh yeah,
Unless if you already did, I'm not sure.
I've been lagging it, but I'll do it tonight.
Yeah. But Gio's entire career has been based on what he has accomplished with the national team. So why would he shit all over it? He wouldn't.
Well,
he wouldn't dare.
Let me ask this question: if Hugo Sanchez would have not went to Europe and won the scoring title 5 times, would he be praised as much as he is now?
He's not even praised in Mexico. They hate him, dude.
All worldwide, he is praised. He wouldn't have been praised if he would have just
Well,
scored.
yeah, but you can say that there. Hugo is a once in like many generation player. That is a false equivalency.
About Cuauhtemoc, we sort of lament the idea that he got hurt and wasn't able to fully blow up in Europe and go to Europe and have a good career there. That's sort of like, oh man, that could have happened.
I think that's because some people or some fans, I think, crave that are thirsty for that validation. And you're not going to get validated unless, in the eyes of some, unless you prove yourself on a European team.
Or beat the best, beat the best players in the world, which are in Europe. And I'm not trying to be a Euro spaz or anything like that. I'm just saying.
Well, look, there's no question that if you have success in Europe, then chances are you're going to be a really good player. That's very obvious. And Giovanni had modest success in Europe. He had a couple of good years, a couple of not so good years. I personally made some bad career decisions early in his career where he could have probably developed into a better player. And who knows what would have happened.
And I think physically, his body's let him down. As far as he's always suffering setbacks, muscular setbacks.
So, Beto, you want to be European?
Hey man, I'm just telling the truth, dude. I'm not.
He's dropping a truth bomb.
What type of swimwear do you wear?
He's dropping a truth bomb.
Yeah, endeth the lesson.
I wear regular shorts, but I pull them up high.
Yeah. So you think they have to go to Europe?
No, I don't think they have to. But I think if you're a player, and all the players say this, and you want to be truly great, you have to go beat the truly great people. You have to go nutmeg Ronaldo. You have to go nutmeg and beat Barcelona.
So are you saying that nutmegging Gusano Napoles just doesn't count?
No, what you have to do is you have to win the World Cup.
Well, that too. That's another.
Well, for some people, just winning the Copa MX is enough to validate their greatness.
Are you calling somebody? Are you?
That's pretty much a summons right there.
A summon of somebody. Release the
That's
crap.
right.
Yeah.
You.
I do think he said he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
That's too bad. So I guess we should all now expect Giovanni to be called up for the friendlies in October.
I think so.
That'll be his first in about over a year?
In over a year, yeah. So he was punished for a year. And what was his heinous crime?
Was the last game he hasn't played under Osorio, has he?
No,
I don't remember.
He hadn't been called. He didn't even play under Tuca.
The last one was with Piojo in the World Cup, in the Gold Cup final. Then.
No, he didn't even play that because he was hurt.
Yeah, because
he got hurt.
Are they still mad at him because he took a photo of him, with a cup drinking champagne?
That, and also because he giggled when Miguel Herrera bitch slapped what's his face.
But Paul Aguilar also laughed, and in fact he was saying "Ay tiros, ay tiros."
No, he tweeted also. He tweeted support of Miguel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he did. He dared show public support. Well, just the fact that the president of the federation has to come out and say, "Oh yeah, this all of a sudden this guy wants to play." Really? The saddest part about this whole ordeal is how many people bought the fact that they think that Gio is the one who said, "Oh, I don't want to play." It's very sad to me.
Yeah, because
they assassinated his character for no reason.
Yeah, he loves playing for the national team, dude.
Yeah,
he's made his He's made his bone playing for the national team, dude.
Right. That's what we've been saying for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, his entire career, whatever has happened in his career is all based on the success he's had as a national team player. Period.
And not only that, the league and his club would really want him to be part of the national team. I think that was also a big reason they paid so
Why he
much for
came?
him. That's
Right.
No, yeah, and why they're willing to pay that much, because that type of exposure, to have a player in his prime in the Mexico national team, and every time they name his club, it's Galaxy. I mean, it's huge for them that MLS has never shied away from the fact that they've been targeting Mexican American fans.
Which is why they got to be feeling pretty threatened by the new LA team, which just based on their logos are going to be pushing very hard to get
It's right by my house too, John.
Is it working? Joel, do you have an LAFC shirt yet?
Yeah, I am gonna, because it's not. I live very close. My brother lives even closer. I could even park and walk to the stadium, and it's
Joel, need I remind you?
No, that's always gonna be my team, but it's going to the stadium. It's a whole other experience. Being able to see
What is
games,
what you know. Say when you're wearing a Golazo shirt with the LA from the LA. What is Jorge going to say?
I rarely wear shirts, Yon. I don't.
But you would buy that one, wouldn't you? You can admit it, Joel. It's all right. You're among friends. There's only just a handful of people that are listening to this live. You can. That's how I'll play this, and you can just whisper it.
No, look, John. Chances are they're bound to have Chivistas there. You know, they're bound to bring maybe Pulido. He's gonna be like 35. They'll bring some other guys. Kulit. I bet half Chivas squad will end up there at one point or another. Just because, and but yeah, they already started demolishing the sports arena.
Wow, so the stadium is on its way.
Yeah, that whole area has been getting.
Well, hold on. Which stadium got demolished?
The old
LA Sports Arena. It's a huge eyesore.
Eyesore.
Was it ugly?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the USC used to play there as well, and they got the Galen Center opened up down the street. So yeah, it's not I think everybody's glad this is happening. This is a good thing for the city.
So Dan, I'll ask you the same question. Have you bought your Golazo shirt yet?
No. If anything, I'm gonna go see Cholos.
Hey,
I'm
but
closer to Cholos.
If they bring Chicharo, you wouldn't go see him play?
Well, I probably would, but not regularly. I mean, I went once to go see Giovanni play, but that was only because of Santos.
But we might not. Aside from Hugo, Chicharo is like going to be the greatest Mexico striker of our generation. He's
he's gonna
break the record. He's about to leave Borghetti behind, and with the 10-8 rule and other fancy stuff going on Liga MX, I think we might not see anyone get close to breaking that all-time goal scoring record.
It's going to be a while until Marco Bueno catches fire, and he's going to be the one that ends up breaking it.
Yeah, I've forgotten all about it, man.
Joel, I've got to ask you, your Chivas they're white hot.
They just won 2 games, Yon. It's the.
Yeah, but that for Chivas, that's that is the.
That's a dynasty.
Can't get any better than that. Yeah,
that's That's already the hot streak. Nah, man.
That is the new definition of campeonísimo. They went 2 in a row.
They went 2 in a row.
So, you know.
But Chiapas has lost 6 games and only won 1.
Yeah, that's the
Doesn't
thing.
mean anything.
Hey,
Doesn't mean
speaking of, they fired Cardoso and then they rehired him. So he's right back at Chiapas, which I think he has been doing.
Wasn't that spurred on though by fans or something?
I think the team, the players.
Was it the players? They kind of demanded
Yeah.
him back or something?
Did they have a Twitter vote?
No, but
now, Chiapas is that's a state that is really looking. They are big into pushing the ecotourism, right? To help them out, they have a lot of very unique natural, I guess, attractions. I would tie the soccer team to that if I were them.
How so?
You know, come stay in a yurt that's floating in a tree, but on Saturday go to the Chiapas game. You know, make it just part of if they're doing. You know, if they have these little eco setups. You know, and include going to a game as a packet. That's why I've always thought that.
How's the stadium look though?
You know, the stadium's not terrible. I mean,
I think that's also one of the selling points, though.
Is that it's in Tuxtla Gutierrez and it's 95 and 100% humidity all the time. So they do have that drawback. But still, it's
yeah, I'd have to think that one.
They would have to improve their stadium.
So I still stand by Chivas 3 points in the next 3 games. They already got the.
So they have to lose. They have to lose the next 2 for your.
Toluca, and then against Tigres. So I'm pretty confident.
Wow. So if they win these next 2 games, then they're like, bring on Barça. It's time to play Barcelona. Yeah. See how they do against them.
Yeah.
Is there a team that's honestly más inflado than Chivas when they win 2 games and their fans are just like, well, actually, as a neutral, I'll ask the neutrals whose fans are more obnoxious when their team goes on a hot streak, Chivas or America? I would say Chivas because it doesn't happen very often. So when it does, they all come out of the woodwork and act like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. When most of them are under 30 and have never seen Chivas win anything other than like one measly little short season turn, and that's it.
Chivas are more annoying because they're snobby about it. America, they're just like this guy.
Espíritu de Cuauhtémoc Blanco, Cristian Benítez, Chava Cabañas.
Just knock those, man.
Yeah, I mean it's just commonplace. It just happens. Man. It's like Chivas fans. It's unfortunate. Joel, it's unfortunate. Why are Chivas fans? You know what? It reeks of desperation, is what it is.
You know what it is, and I was getting into it in Twitter with a known Chivista follower because he was already praising Almeida, and I'm saying, hey man, let him win something before you ride his nuts, And he's saying he's just trying to enjoy the ride, but I just think it's this you go in with this mentality that it's a big club, and in all honesty, Chivas is more of a mid-table team, just on results. History,
and have been for 40 years.
Yeah, you could say history. Their history is that of a big club, but their results for the past 40 years, it's a mid-table team, the most popular mid-table team in the world, perhaps. But yeah, it's you don't go with those long streaks without being able to win, finishing. They finish mid-table, so it's like that's the whole thing. When and Almeida has been like saying it. Oh, we're making Chivas great again. Oh man.
See, it goes back to my theory that they need to introduce the song to get the crowd pumped up.
It's depressing talking about Chivas for me, Yon. We were so close to having a legit
A
con-
Chivas free episode.
no, I mean a consistently good team, and this is around '06, and it just Vergara just dismantled it all, sold it piece by piece.
And for the worst reason, purely because of ego.
Yeah, ego, but I mean, Libertadores, close to winning it twice, you know, um, just won the league title, and then back there, back when they won the title, they would be like in semifinals consistently. Now it's like and now we qualify to Liga every other tournament. This is the funny thing. They've been bringing all these players, and there's all this talk of improvement. And I was telling some other Chivistas, I forgot it's on Twitter, and I'm like, if we reached the semifinal 2 years ago, I don't see improvement until we surpass that. They really had no answer for that.
Do you belong to a support group that you go and visit with weekly?
No, I need to
Hi,
start one. I'm probably
I'm
gonna.
Joel. And I said, hey, Joel, it's like it's been 11 years since my last championship.
That's a good idea for a column, actually. But I think Cruz Azul needs that more than Chivistas right now. La
Man, Cruz
Fundación
Azul, I mean,
Fundación
have they
Marcha por el Azul, ¿ah?
have the familias marchan para Cruz Azul? What was the thing?
They needed more, man. 06 was closer than 97 to me, so.
That is true, and of course, both of them are pale in comparison to 1951, which
Oh man, yeah, 1951.
That's even worse. That is even worse. So I mean, seriously, here it is. It's Marcha por las familias que le van a Cruz Azul.
That's cold.
That's terribly funny. Donate now.
To ease the suffering, eh?
So what happens to them? And then of course they're going to keep Tomas Boy because.
I was gonna bring this up earlier, which is they started to restructure Cruz Azul. They brought in Yayo de la Torre as a GM, and the thing is, when they brought him, they had just hired Tomas Boy. So I think that he had to work with him. I think it makes it difficult. You come in as with that task of rebuilding a squad, but the coach from the previous cycle is still there. So I wonder if there's had any, it could have an adverse effect. If he does bad, then they could kick off Yayo as well.
So is there a team in Liga MX that doesn't have a De La Torre anywhere in the front office? How many of them are there? They're everywhere.
Three that we know of, John.
But I mean, like their father and their father's father have been, they've been metidos in the league since what, the 40s, 50s.
Yeah, I think even.
No, it goes
longer.
further than that,
Yeah.
does it? Yeah, the Garces and the Alvarez in that co-op in the cement company. It goes back.
No, I'm talking about the De La Torre family.
Oh, the La Torre, yeah, they go back. They go back too. At least to like you said, yeah, to the 1940s that I recall.
It's
a lot of, we were talking about, we chatted about the scene, like when Justino Compian's wife died. I didn't realize, when I saw the last name, I'm thinking, oh, that makes sense now. He married, a woman that's, had heavy ties to Televisa. And not that I'm knocking, him down, knocking him. I thought he was a, good president and he was sincere.
I think that what you're saying is that he slept his way to the top. I believe that's exactly.
I think he did.
A nivel mundial, y ella me va a enseñar educación. No, pues, cada uno en su sitio. Señora.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking, well, how the hell did Michelle Bauer? How did the hell? I know he was in sales for Televisa. But because I still wonder how the hell he got into coaching. Who did he marry? Or what did he do? Because I don't see how the hell he got it.
And one thing, to defend the poor guy. I mean, obviously he had done so good at America that he was, they must have given him a 10 to 20 year non-compete so that no club could touch him because obviously he was very sought after he left that we haven't seen or heard from him since in Mexican soccer. He's just disappeared. So either he signed an incredible non-compete, or maybe he just wasn't that good. I'm going to lean toward the second.
Yeah, he was pathetic. The coach there, one that I did like was Javier Perez Stoifer. I did like him. He had a lot of good ideas.
For Cruz Azul, I liked Marcarean. I thought he was perfect for them.
Oh yes.
He even
did a good job with their cantera.
Yeah. That's probably what the problem was. Oh, you're doing too good. We have a reputation to protect. We don't want to sully that.
Yeah, I think at one point they had upwards of 8 or 10, Mexican players on the field.
They did a really good job of bringing in Villaluz, who played really, really well for him, and then before he got hurt. So that's interesting that you bring that up, Joel. Of course, Thomas Boy, just runs circles around Sergio Marcarean. It's pretty obvious. I think he lost this game on purpose just to kind of lull the whole league to sleep, and then they're gonna start doing their thing, and by the time they get to the Liguilla, they'll be unstoppable for 5 games and 89 minutes and 45 seconds before they give up another heartbreaker. Wouldn't that be just a thing for them? Like they lose this game, right? And then they have the rest of the season that they redeem themselves. They have the redemption tour. They make the Liguilla, they make the final. They play, pick someone. It doesn't matter, and they lose the final in the last 3 minutes. It would be the next step in it's like the next chapter of their masterpiece of futility that they've put together over the years. It would be the only thing they could do to top what they just did.
Do you think if they do that, do you think the Royal Academy of Spanish language, do you think they will succumb to the
accept the word?
Yeah.
As part of the everyday renown, I think that they would have to. They would have to. I mean that is ultimate. That's like that has to be their goal, right?
I mean, the thing about it is, you have the press, like legit press that use it now.
Now, do you have legit press that uses it in other countries and talking about other sports? Because when that starts happening, then
keep in mind in the academy, they have when they translate words, they'll put in parentheses like Peru or Mexico, or it could be general Latin America, and it will say that like for example, this word in Latin in Peru means this, and this one in Mexico, like in parentheses, it means that. So So I don't.
By running it through the filter, then, or the academy filter, and like when it spits out this, it's not going to all of a sudden be Cruz Azuleando.
Yeah, that actually sounds better. Cruz Azuleando. That actually sounds better.
Is that a Roman translation?
Well, you know, Dan, you live in the San Diego-ish area, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Dan, I'm not sure if you're a Chargers fan or not, but would you, if you were, or maybe you aren't, I'm not sure, but you live out there, would you say that the Chargers La Cruz Azulearon in Kansas City?
I didn't watch the game. I'm not a fan. I'm not a Bolts fan. But I'm assuming they held true to form and lost. And since you're saying Cruz Azul, I'm assuming they were winning at some point.
24-3 in the third quarter.
Yeah, they would be. I think it would be appropriate for them. I do recall. I think another Monday night game. I think it was against the Broncos, where they pulled a similar stunt.
Now, wouldn't it be awesome? Because I know that the San Diego paper they cover Cholos extensively. If by covering Cholos, their headline says Chargers Cruz Azul in Kansas City. Now then we see that, then you know it's when it starts crossing languages. That would be fantastic.
They got Cruz Azul.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's something that they and Ronnie's obviously on board, so I think it's something that he needs to be pushing. Pushing to get that
to write
to the.
A strongly worded letter, Ronnie, to the La Academia Española, and get that going.
You have a Twitter account?
Yeah, I mean, they got bombarded with Twitter. You know.
Oh, so it's already happened.
You know,
campaign started.
Campaign already started, and they've responded, and they replied that that at the moment they're not looking into it, but if people insist that they will consider it. So I think I honestly think that like within the next year, 2 years, I think that it'll
You think it's going to happen?
I think it's going to happen. And you know what?
When you hear we'll take it under advisement, do you hear they're going to really take this under advisement, or do you hear no chance in hell? I usually hear no chance in hell.
You know what? It's probably going to happen, and for it to happen, that same season or the following season, Cruz Azul will probably win the title. You know.
So when the circle's complete and their mission is accomplished, we can go back to winning again. Let's take care of this. Our mission here is over. We have added a verb to the official lexicon.
They gave them a quinceañera, and like they actually went out there with like dresses and stuff like that. When Cruz Azul won 15 years. They did a party outside La Noria when she went legal, when she turned legal, 18. So I mean,
it's a good thing Cruz Azul doesn't live in Mississippi.
Why?
Bob.
That's 16? Consent or what the hell?
Oh, I found the tweet on this guy.
What's up?
No, the tweet.
There's an Cruz They're saying that Cruz Azul has some more anniversaries. They have their legal drinking age anniversary, and then the age where their car insurance goes down to look forward to.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, they have a ways to go.
So how much longer, guys, are we going to keep the show going?
Well, with a stirring endorsement like that, I guess it's probably time for us to wrap it up.
Yeah, man. I gotta wake up early.
It's a good spot. I do too. It's well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you for joining us for a special Tuesday edition. It was our Taco Tuesday edition of the Dos a Cero Football Podcast.
I like Taco Tuesday edition.
Yeah,
it's a good ring to it.
I like it too. Maybe we'll make this a trend. Maybe like one or two a month will be the Taco Tuesday editions.
I just don't want one on every corner though.
Yeah, how horrible that would be. To have to live our life eating tacos the rest of our life. Yeah, I couldn't think of a worse fate for someone like me. Oh, it's terrible.
Que se van a estar chingando las pelotas hablando, entonces me callo yo.
Thank you, Tuca. Well, Dan, thanks for joining us. It's I hope that you did your good humanly duties and consoled a Cruz Azul fan at least once.
I tried to do my part
after the game. Yeah, did you do your part?
I tried to. I went on Big Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kept it pretty tame though. I mean, I was telling the guys I actually watched the game with my dad. So he's a America fan, so it was kind of cool actually. It's nice seeing him go through the all those different mood swings.
Can we end the show with the sad flute?
Of course. We can always end the show with the sad flute. You don't have to. I mean, hang on. Let me find the sad flute. Give me a second. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Chivas TV. Let me get on the sad flute. There's a sad flute. So this has been the Los Azuleando Football Podcast. Albert Chiquis, thank you for joining us. Oh, there we go. There's a little longer rip. And Joel, thank you.
Thank you, John. It's
Console a Cruz Azul fan before the next game. Thank you. Ronnie, I would advise you to do the same. To consult a Cruz Azul fan.
I will. I will march. I'm actually going to join the march.
Yes. Please, sign up for the GoFundMe. Thank you guys for joining us here on the Los Azuleando Football Podcast. We always have a lot of fun in our special Tuesday edition here, our Taco Tuesday edition. We'll do it again next week. And actually, I think we've been on the air actually this is our 1 year anniversary. This is episode 52. So starting next week, we'll have our volume 2 editions of the Los Azuleando Football Podcast. So thank you guys very much for joining us live on the YouTube, on the chat, and of course you can listen to our podcast anytime by downloading it off iTunes.com. Thanks very much.